Hey there, I'm the real Jason Duncan. Thank you for tuning in again with me on this Friday sales tip video. And I'm doing a little mini series. This is the third one in a series. I started a couple of weeks ago with this idea that people don't buy, they are sold. And then last week I talked about this concept of when should you close, and you should only close when you've presented enough sufficient value that exceeds the cost for your services. Well, today's tip is simply this: don't sell past the sell. Know when to shut up. Before we get into today's tip, I want to talk to you again about the Root of All Success podcast. If you are at all interested in finding out how some of America's top entrepreneurs grew their companies from just concepts to multi-million-dollar status, like how did they get to success and can you do it too? Then you want to tune in. You can go to any podcast player, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, any of them, and you can download and listen to the Root of All Success. You can even find it on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/C/TheRealJasonDuncan. And you can listen to the playlist on the Root of All Success because I record those on video so that you can watch and see the guests and see who they are, because these people are amazing. I've talked to people that have turned ideas into nearly $750 million. I've talked to people who own 20 or more companies. I've talked to people in the tech sector, the medical care sector, the liquor and alcohol and spirit sector, you name it. I've talked to them, and you want to tune in to the Root of All Success and listen to how you can succeed too. Now on with today's tip. So many salespeople don't understand what it means to sell past the sell. You know, I was taught a long time ago by one of my sales mentors when I was coming up in my early 20s learning how to sell insurance to small business owners, is that you got to learn when to shut up, and when it's sold, stop talking. So many salespeople that I've trained over the years end up selling past the sell. Now, what does that mean? Well, if you get your prospect to a point where he or she is like, yes, I want to do this, then you don't need to offer any more reasons for them to want to do it. They've already said they want to do it. They've learned enough information. You've provided enough value to exceed your cost. A need has been created, and now they want to do business. So shut up. Don't say anything else. Do you know how many sales I've watched wither and just die? Like legit deals that were going to happen. Somebody was going to write a check. Somebody was going to sign a piece of paper. But the salesperson just kept running their mouth. And what happened was the salesperson brought up something that the prospect, the customer, had not previously considered, and it disaffected one of their motivating reasons for doing the deal to begin with. Guys, if you don't hear anything else that I say, is don't sell past the sell. Know when to shut up. You've got to know when to be quiet. When the deal is done, get the paperwork signed, collect the check, and move on. Now it's time for operations to deliver the product or services. It's not time for you to keep talking and babbling on. Don't sell past the sell. So in this little mini series that I did 2 weeks ago, we started with the concept of people don't buy, they are sold. So you've got to sell them. That means you've got to present them enough qualifying information, enough good information that they want to buy. They've got to want to buy it, and you've got to sell it to them. And then last week we talked about, well, when do you close? Like, when do you finally ask for the business? When do you do that? Well, you only do that when you've presented value that exceeds the cost of your services. As Zig Ziglar used to say, nobody's going to spend $100 on something they only think's worth 10. If you haven't presented that it's worth 100, you can't ask 100, because in their mind, if they only think it's worth 10, that's the only thing they're going to pay, and you've not created a value gap there where a need is created. So if you've done that, you've sold them, you've created the value that exceeds the cost of your services, and now you're closing them because you've created that value. And if they agreed to buy from you, it's time to shut up. It's time to be quiet, take their money, sign the contract, and move on to the next opportunity. I promise, as a professional salesperson, if you'll follow this little 3-part series that I did over the last 3 Fridays, make sure that you understand that people don't buy, they are sold. You got to understand, don't close until you've presented a sufficient value that exceeds the cost of your services. And then third, when the sale is done, shut up. Don't sell past the sell. I'm the real Jason Duncan, and my life's mission is to help people like you get the results you want out of life. I want to help you. If you're a salesperson, I train salespeople. That's not the primary thing that I do, but I really enjoy it because I've done a lot of it. But the primary thing that I do is I help entrepreneurs start, scale, enjoy, and exit their businesses. And if you're interested in talking to me about how I can work with you to start, to scale, to enjoy, and to exit your business, or if you and your team need some sales training, why don't you book a free 20-minute compatibility call with me? It's free. It only takes 20 minutes. And I'll promise you at the end of that call, we'll know if we're compatible. And if we're compatible and I can provide value, I will attempt to close. I'll say, are you ready to get started? Let's get this thing going. And I promise you also that if I can't create enough value, if there's not enough value there, we're not compatible, I'll either say, hey, sorry, it didn't work out, or I'll send you some more information, or I'll connect you with somebody that I think can help you. My life's mission is to use my gifts of teaching and leadership to help you get the results you want. I know that I started my entrepreneurial journey kind of as an accidental entrepreneur, and I looked up 7 or 8 years into the process, and I had been very successful, but I'd created a job for myself. And I realized that, you know what, there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that don't want to just create jobs for themselves. They want to create opportunities to live the lifestyle that they and their families really truly desire, to make the changes and the impact on the world they really want to, that they can't make when they're working 9 to 5 every day in the office. So if you want help going from where you are today to get to success as quickly as possible, that's what I do. Let me help you out. Book a free 20-minute compatibility call. Just click the link below here. Go ahead and do it. You don't even have to finish watching the video. We're almost done anyway. Click the link, book the free compatibility call. Let's talk, and I can get you where you want to go as your guide, because you got an idea. You want to make it happen. Let's go for it. Let's go for it together. I'm the real Jason Duncan. I'll see you next Friday. And until then, remember, Jesus is King.